I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki, and we are the site of Petra Institute Efronto. We've been casting the building gradually. We've cast this side, and we have entered this way. We've done the exterior wall, the lintel at the exterior. Then we started removing the planks today. We're going to bring them forward here. By the time we'll use them to complete this side, we'll cast. Then we'll buy rods to do the beams and the pillars. Then we'll buy more planks because the ones we have now will have weakened. So we'll buy planks for the pillars and the beams. It's been by the grace of God. What is grace? Grace is divine enablement to perform, divine enablement to become, divine enablement to glorify God. It is the input of divinity into humanity to function beyond installed capacity. I'm not a politician. I'm not a contractor. God has just helped me. The thing is that conceive the vision, believe God and His grace. His grace is sufficient. A few days back, I was financially strangulated, and it looked as if the project was going to stop. But grace, God enabled me, and finances came from within and outside the country, and we were able to pick up. I was able to pay my debts from the rods I bought from somebody, and I could sleep well. So running a project like this requires the grace of God, the enablement of God. When we talk about grace in this dispensation, people think that grace is for us to sin. The Bible says, because of grace, should we then sin? No. Grace enables you to resist sin. Grace enables you to overcome your weaknesses. It enables you to avoid wickedness. Your weaknesses should not be converted to wickedness. Grace acts as the restraint. There are tendencies I have, there are attitudes I have, there are weaknesses I have that can turn to wickedness, but grace has restrained me. My natural self is a sinful man. My natural self is an aggressive person. My natural self used to be I spend money anyhow, but the grace of God has restrained me. The grace of God has taught me prudence. The grace of God has taught me frugality. So the grace of God. The grace of God is not to sin. The grace of God enables you to glorify God. What I see in church today and in society is that we believe that grace is the same thing with mercy. No, mercy is from the Hebrew word hesed. Hesed means that if you have done wrong in the presence of God, when God has mercy upon you, it is as if what you did wrong never happened. Blind Bartimaeus said, "Son of David, have mercy on me." When Jesus healed blind Bartimaeus, it was as if he was never blind. But the truth of the matter, Jesus will always tell you, go and sin no more. But let's leave that grace. The saving grace of God is for us to become sons of God. It's for us to become members of the household of God. It's for us to become spiritual children of God, like God related with the nation of Israel and the descendants of Abraham. Whatever was in our past, our background as Gentiles, our background as Africans, is covered up by the blood of Jesus, and we are grafted into the stem of the nation of Israel, into the stem of the true vine. Instead of normal grafting, when you graft a branch into the stem, the branch is supposed to produce itself. But in this case, with the wild vine was grafted to the stem of the true vine, we are supposed to produce wild vines, but now we are producing good grapes. However, sin has a consequence. The grace of God, the mercy of God can forgive you sin, but the consequences of sin might still remain. I give you an example. I see young girls in front of hotels today wearing bomb shorts, living wild. I was in a holiday resort. Young boys smoking loud, smoking cocaine, smoking conk, drinking tramadol. I saw empty bottles of cough syrup with codeine in the dustbin, several of them. You see, if you get born again, God can have mercy upon you. That is to say, your record of your sins are no longer there, but the consequences might still be there. The consequences might still be there. If you get HIV in the process of promiscuity, God might not heal the HIV. If you get gonorrhea and you have urethral stenosis, your urethra becomes narrow, and you find it difficult to urinate, mercy might not cover that. You will pay for the consequences of sin. If you smoke loud and you take drugs and you go mad, you go insane, that's the consequence of your consumption. God might have mercy upon you. You might become normal, but there's a price to pay if you stopped school. You will need to start school again. If you get pregnant midway in your university because you were knacking, you were doing tatata, you like cucumber, you like cassava, fine. You will deliver that baby. That baby will be there, innocent baby, but your education will be retarded. Your mates will be ahead of you, and you might not catch up. And research has shown that if you have children outside wedlock, the likelihood is that your children will also have children outside wedlock. 65% of the chances is that your child, your daughter, might have children outside wedlock. So you decide to smoke. You smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke. If you subsequently have cancer of the lungs, God will have mercy upon you, forgive you your sins, but the cancer might not be healed. So we should be very careful. Somebody was telling me that I don't forgive, that you are too harsh, it's difficult to live with you, that I don't forgive. Listen and listen well. I can forgive you, but I don't forget. I'm not God. The story of the prodigal son should not be extrapolated to parents, extrapolated to bosses. It was God that was being illustrated in that story of the prodigal son. It is only God that has that ability. You squandered the money I gave to you, you went, you came back, and then I was waiting for you, change clothes for you, do a feast for you. Your real parents will not do that for you. You miss that chance, you miss it. They send you to the university, you squander your life, you miss it and you miss it. You take your husband for granted, you go and misbehave, gave you money for business, squander the money, come back as the prodigal son. Your husband will not give you another money, might never trust you. You have a relationship with the boss, you are working for the boss, he gave you money, you ate it, you squandered it, he will not trust you again. He will not give you again. Let me tell you, the story of the prodigal son is an illustration of the love God has for humanity. But humanity does not behave like God. You see, my ways are far from your ways. So, Jacob's children misbehaved. Reuben slept with the father's wife. Levi and his brothers killed circumcised people. Jacob kept that. Until when he got to his deathbed, then he started telling them, Reuben, the excellency of my strength, this, that, you went into my couch, you shall no longer excel. He started enumerating what they did, and he kept quiet. He did not say anything. Jacob did not forgive even his children. He pronounced statements concerning them that affected them. affected them. So don't just take grace for granted. They say if you have sex, your hymen is broken, they disvirgin you. Through grace, you are a virgin. That is not correct. It's wrong doctrine. It's wrong doctrine. Grace enables you to please God, to function in such a way that you can say no to sin. You can say yes to righteousness. You can say yes to God. Grace enables you to perform. One of the languages I have seen around my life is that when people come around me, they will say, wow. Grace has the language. It is the language of wow. That ability to go beyond your normal self, that capacity to do beyond your normal self. Grace does not cover stupidity. Grace does not cover negligence. There are some transactions I did recently. I didn't do due diligence. I've been stressed. It's now I am recovering from them. Now I want to correct them. I will never repeat that mistake. So grace on its own will not produce results. I have the Apoki formula for productivity. G times E times S raised to the power 4 all over C is equal to R. R as in rise, results. So when you have the grace of God times 0 effort is equal to 0. Faith without works is dead. So when you have G, the grace of God, you must have corresponding effort. It is the effort that you put that God adds his own mechanical advantage and magnifies it like a pulley system. So grace times E, effort. Then you must have a strategy. Like the principle of gradualism I'm sharing with you now. It's a strategy that I'm using. Then you must have structures. There are things I have placed on ground that give me resources. Even though when I got stagnated recently, it is some of the things I have put on ground. Relationships I have cultivated. People I know that gave me resources to start all over, to pay off my financial commitments and continue. So you must have strategies, systems, structures. Then you must think about sustainability. In anything you do, there is grace, there is effort. Ask yourself, is this sustainable? The lifestyle our children are living today, is this sustainable? Is Yahoo sustainable? Is promiscuity sustainable? Slay queen, runs girl. Can you become a runs girl to the age of 50? Can you twerk to the age of 50? How long is that sustainable? So you must ask yourself sustainability. Then the next thing is that seriousness. You have grace, you put effort, you have a strategy, you have systems, you have structure, the thing is sustainable. If you are not serious-minded concerning anything, you will not get results. Anything you do casually, you will become a casualty. So G times E times S raised to the power 4 all over C. What is C? Constraints. Financial constraints, physical constraints, intellectual constraints, environmental constraints, and all that and all that. You see, when constraints increase, grace multiplies. Grace increases. And sometimes, when there are more constraints, you should put in more effort. You should change your strategies, change your system, put structures in place that are different from what you have been doing. So, life is based on principles. And that principle I just shared with you, the Apoki principle, G times E times S raised to the power 4 all over C will give you results. This project, I had to re-strategize. I had to rethink some of the things I was doing. And by His grace, it will be completed, it will be commissioned. And I'm not just going to run a school here to produce entrepreneurs alone. It's also going to be a tourist center. People are going to come from all over the world to see what we are doing here. The 40 acres here, we're going to put things in place that people will come, stay, have recreation, learn, do master class, and go. Now, I did not lay this foundation first. When I laid the foundation now, the prices of properties went up 1,000-fold, 1,000% around here. If I had laid this foundation in the very beginning, I would not have been able to buy as much as I bought. Now, there's a property I have behind me there, just across this fence, flat land. I want to sell it. Why? I am rethinking my strategy. I will sell it, gain money from it, put it into this project. I will take some of the money I will sell, look for a cheaper place, and buy a bigger property. Because this place is growing very fast, prices are going up. Across me, people want to start building. There's hardly any piece of land up to an acre or even 100 by 100 feet along this stretch opposite me now. No, this was bush. None. So, since the price of properties is going, just that tree you are seeing behind me there now, I have nearly an acre there. I'm going to sell it to whoever is interested. There's a road on the other side, just behind me. Sell it to whoever is interested. Use the money to do whatever I need to do here so that I will be under less pressure. Buy somewhere else that will also develop. That's the way I work. That's the way I think. You don't just live according to what you learned in the university. You don't put a handcuff based on your profession, on your wrist, your spiritual wrist, your economic wrist. You will be tied to the past. You see, I don't reason like a medical doctor. I don't talk like a medical doctor. I don't even talk like a typical Nigerian or a typical pastor. It is because be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind, and the grace of God is sufficient for you. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.